you deserve it. Well, I didn't say that. But you know, so see, if I'd have made the right choices, if I had chose not to get resentful, if I had made the right choice, I wouldn't have had to go back and do all that. You see what I'm saying? But see, when you're a Christian, you have to live out your faith. Listen, you can't continue. If you continue in this mess, honey, listen, he said, if he don't chasten you, you're as a bastard and not a son. Amen. Now listen, I do things that are wrong. Amen? But he chastens me. He chastens me. And honey, I have to get it right. And I can choose not to get it right. But listen, every time I do that, I get further away from him.
Amen.
I get further and further away from him. And so, but that was just an example of resentment that can build up from things like that. And then another thing is, I think that can cause resentment in our lives, is if you're ever made to feel inferior. Have you ever been made to feel inferior to somebody else? I was talking on with, and let me tell you something. People don't have to do it. Just the tone of your voice can cause a person to have a superior attitude when they talk to you. I mean, and maybe it's nothing they say. And when I had this experience, I said, God, I believe I do that sometimes. Shut up, Jimmy. And after the way it made me feel, I said, well, I really got to watch that I don't talk to people like that. That I don't do that. Because evidently I have a problem with these things, Jeannie's all in. But it's the truth. And it was just, I called the bank. I called the what's the name of that place you call center? Find out something about my bank account. And I had to wait about 30 minutes, so I realized that they were really backed up. I gave them that. But this little snot-nosed boy. You can tell I'm all that British. I'm just playing. Anyway, he come on the line, and I started asking him what I wanted to ask him, And he started talking to me like I might have been in the second grade. Oh boy. And I know I was old enough to be his grandma, probably. But anyway, he started asking me this and that. He said, you got a computer? I said, listen, I don't want my bank account online. And I don't. I know I can go online and have my bank account there, but I don't want my bank account online. And if you do, that's fine. I just don't. I just had some simple questions I wanted to ask him. And he, it wasn't nothing he said. It was just his attitude and the way he was saying it. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, and so, but that's what I'm saying. We can build up resentment sometimes when we are made to feel inferior. I know when I went to school, I was way in that category. When I was just a young girl, going through puberty. Because that's what it is, puberty. And I was made to feel inferior. And it can build resentment. And I had a lot of resentment. When I got saved, I had to forgive those people. Well, it hadn't been that long. I was only 19. I was saying it hadn't been years, but it hadn't really been that many years. But it had been years since they had treated me like that, because I was like in the seventh and eighth grade, basically, was when I got the brunt of it. But anyway, those things can build up and cause resentment in your life. And so, and I don't know, you may have some other thoughts. Those are just some of the thoughts that came to me today of things that can build up resentment in our life. And, another thing that bitterness is right in the same category with resentment. Bitterness resulting from or expressive of severe grief or anguish or disappointment. Bitter. You can become resentful and bitter. There are people that have lost loved ones, lost husbands, lost wives, lost children. Just like Wednesday, 9/11, there's going to be a lot. You think there's not some people that's still resentful that their husband was blowed up and another woman's husband got out? You know what I mean? I mean, anything like that can cause resentment, and it can build up in us and say, well, you know, why? Why did that happen to me, or why did that happen to my loved one? You know, why? And so it is marked by resentment or cynicism. And you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of times we, even as Christians, can become so cynical. You know, cynical is, what's another word for it? Critical. But just having an attitude of a negative, sort of like a negative attitude that can, when we become resentful of things, everything is tainted by that resentment. And the reason for that is, I believe resentment is like bitterness. It can be a root in our life if it gets down in us. See, everything, if it takes root, that's when it has to affects us. And you know, we talk about this all the time, but a root is hard to get out, right? Once something takes root, it's hard to get it. It's harder to get it out, let me say. It's harder to get, you know, when you got a sapling and you can pull it up, but you wait 10 years and you ain't going to pull it up. It's going to take major construction or whatever to come in there to get that tree up. How many of you ever had a root canal?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody don't like to have root canals. I mean, that's just not your favorite thing to do. It takes major surgery in your mouth to get that. They have to get down into that gum. And it is a root. And see, but that root feeds that tooth. Is that right? So if you have got a decay or whatever reason you're having to have a root canal, that root is infected to the place to where it can no longer produce a healthy tooth. Right? And when you get roots in your life, the root of a tree or anything feeds the water, the nutrients, everything that goes up into that trunk or whatever it is fed from the root. And so even if you've got the bitterness, if you've got a root of bitterness or resentment or anger or malice or whatever all those terrible things are, and if they're rooted in there, everything is filtered through that. Did you know that? And till the place that sometimes even well-meaning gestures from people you will look at as having some ulterior motive. You know? Even a husband making a compliment to his wife. You know, you look good today, honey. He's just saying that. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, once you get that resentment and it comes up through the roots, everything is tainted by that. Everything. Because you can't be fed through any other root. That root system is where it's coming up from, and it's being filtered through that. So that the way you perceive everything is seeing through those eyes is through that root system of bitterness or resentment or whatever. So that it affects everything in your life. You can't compartmentalize. You cannot compartmentalize resentment or bitterness, because it will affect your whole life. It will affect every part of your life. You can't just say, well, I'm going to be resentful in this area of my life and the other area of my life is not going to be affected by it. Because it is. Because everything else is filtered through that. So, what we know tonight is that we need to be free. Amen?
Amen.
Resentment can be the result of not dealing with an offense, allowing it to continue. If somebody's doing something that really gets under your skin, how many of you know the best thing is to tell them that you are really getting under my skin?